Hi guys, and welcome to Tim's Garage. In this video we start the process of a brand new challenge. This YouTube channel has been quite dedicated to the Master Speed MPS platform, and it will remain to be doing that. The only difference is that my own car, the MPS 6 or Master Speed 6, is actually getting towards the end of the build as we know it, sort of as far as adding mods, performance tuning, those kind of things. It's almost where I'd love for it to be. I'm still doing things. You would have seen some photos floating around from doing some front bumper, a custom front bumper, doing some lip kits, those kind of things. The car's not finished, so there are little bits coming out, but as far as the bigger install things, it's starting to get towards the end of the huge amounts of money that I've been throwing into that car. Doesn't mean we're going to stop doing MPS or Master Speed cars. We've still got a lot of installs on 3s. I still work on those cars all the time, so those videos will still keep coming out. There's also some special videos that will be coming out for New Age Auto parts that are from this channel, but specific to some of the parts that you can buy from Nate and the crew there. But what this video is about is launching, I guess, a new season of builds and customization in cars for Tim's Garage. What I've done is I've decided to do a build that is quite cost effective and takes away some of the pressures that can be involved in working on somebody else's car, like a mate's car, or your own daily drive. Some of those pressures are sometimes it can suck the fun out of it. If you've got a problem solved and things aren't working well, it really can make it not as enjoyable. The second thing that it can do is it can actually cost a lot of money, especially if you're stuck to a platform. You start doing a mod, you need another mod, and the dollars really add up quite quickly. The third one is that there's a time frame. Those time restrictions and constraints can sometimes make working on cars quite difficult. And the last one is I want it to be fun. I want to have a lot of fun, and I want to have a social element to it as well. So I want it to be cheap, no time constraints, lots of fun, and social. So they're kind of the elements that are around this build. So I've set myself a budget of $2,000. I want to learn some skills. I want to push myself in my ability to weld and my ability to fabricate things. And so we're going to try and take a base model car. If we can pick one up for cheap enough, we're then going to try and grab a V8 engine. And if we can get that in a car, that means we can grab all the extra bits off it that we might need. Then we're going to put the V8 in the normal car, and then we're going to turbocharge it. This is the $2,000 challenge. So I sold my club spring, the little project that I've had for a few years. We fixed up, got to a point where I wasn't willing to spend more money, and I was really keen to do a different project. And so while this was a fantastic car, I had a lot of fun with it, it was time to let it go, to free up some funds to start this new project. So goodbye convertible and hello V8. So this is the XF. Just bought it, just got it home. We're just taking it for a spin around some local roads where we know, what's coming up and stuff. Obviously, not a car like this I'm not going to put through its paces because it's just a little old car, and a big old car. I don't really want to be thrashing around the corners and stuff. But yeah. So yeah, looks super happy with it. It's really solid. It's got upgraded springs and sway bar off the V8 version of a later model, one of these, which is pretty cool. No air conditioning, so it's pretty warm, but that's alright, we can live with that. It's got 4.1 litre straight 6. It's a Fairmont XF with an XG grille, I believe, in the front, so it looks a bit nicer. A bazillion kilometers on it, engine's about stuffed, but it runs. Automatic gearbox was just done about 12 months ago, new tyres 12 months ago on the back. It's going pretty well. for quite some time I've had my eye on a certain engine. It comes out of the Toyota Soarer, and it is a 4-litre V8, the 1UZ-FE. It was also found in some of the early Lexus models, and so I got to the internet, had a search around. I've been keeping my eyes on them so I know what the market's worth for them, and was looking at one point of just buying the engine by itself, but in the end decided it was actually cheaper to buy a full car and grab what I wanted off that, as well as some extra bits and pieces that we're going to use in the conversion. And so I found for $1,100 originally this amazing looking little car that we went and checked out, and this is what it looked like. So Soarers generally in Australia go for between $2,000 and $10,000 depending on what sort of mods they've got, how they've been looked after. If it's, you know, fully original, low Ks, always garage, you know, they can actually be quite expensive because they're as new, and the Lexus, you know, badge that sort of went on them makes them quite prestigious, I guess. But yeah, you can pick them up quite cheap, but we're actually really just after the engine in this one, but we want to get some extra stuff out of it, and if anything on top of what we get out of it, we can actually use for you know, sell for parts, which will go back into the budget, which will be good, means we can get better stuff. So yeah, let's go have a look at this thing. I'm here with Aaron. Thanks, man. Thanks for giving us a lift. Off to pick up the Soarer. This is a good car, man. Thanks. I like this. So what have you done to this car? What's MPS Gen 2?
Yep, 2011.
Yep.
It's the Series 2 one where they stopped making the luxury and the POV pack, so they just merged into one.
POV pack.
POV pack.
Yeah.
Tim here, he just helped me with the downpipe. Got Coney FSD for shocks. Got the short ram intake, turbo inlet pipe, and a tune. That's about it. You know, basic bolt-ons.
Cool. And it goes really hard, man.
Yeah,
it's cool. This is fun. Got to take it out the other night. Yeah. It's very, very quick up to 60. You know, 60 zone.
On private roads.
On private track. That's right. No, very good, very good. So yeah, so it just turns out you're heading out this way anyway.
Yep.
Which is awesome. That lines up really well for me because we are heading out the other side of town. It's one of those things that I guess I've always wondered is, how do you pick up your car when you pick up a car that's not registered? Do you go and hire a trailer? Because that adds cost to the purchase.
Take a cab.
Take a cab, that adds like double the purchase. Yeah, like how do you pick this stuff up? And so what I've done is I've nicked down to the RTA. The car, I made sure everything worked on the car, blinkers, lights, stop lights, all that. Gone to the RTA, it cost about, I think it was $35 to get a permit to drive the car from like A to B, and you can get one to go from A to B and back to A. I made that permit last 4 days, so I've got a little bit of wriggle room just to, if I need to take it somewhere or whatever. So $35, totally legal. I put a sticker on the window and I can drive the car home. So, which is great. This is fun. This is cool. Horn works. Guys, finding money in there. Yeah. Why?
Well, they said this is the button for
Cheers, mate. Thank you. I'll drop him off in a sec. Yep. That's cool. Alrighty. Cheers, man. Oh, I could have. I guess 50. That's very cool.
pumped. Can I spray? Is there water? I'm just going to scratch the windscreen. Yeah, scratching the windscreen.
Polish it.
Yeah, that's how we roll.
Hey, I'm not recording your speed.
No,
We're going 60.
I'm kind of not going too badly, to be honest.
Drive's alright.
Drive's really good, man. That's the thing. It's like, so for just a few $100. A few. It's more than a few. But
How much
yeah,
is it?
800.
Yeah, okay.
$800 for a V8 fuel injected Lexus. It's now a Lexus. I was buying it, it was a Toyota Soarer import.
Brakes still work? Wow.
Yeah, it's all there. I tried it before, like when we took them out, gave it a bit of a pizzling.
That magnified is so cool.
It's pretty weird.
Like, yeah, it's weird, but
yeah,
I've never seen that before.
it's kind of like, ugh, mess with my eyes. So I'm driving home. Just brought the car. First real trip. It's sitting on 100 kilometers an hour. Just beautifully, absolutely beautifully. I am, so excited that it's just sitting nicely. It's driving nicely. I've got no issues with the car. Everything seems to be just great. I'm very, very happy with this so far. Things that I love about the car is that it was cheap, that it's V8, and that it's mine. I love that the engine sounds awesome. I love that it doesn't have a huge amount of Ks on it for a really old car. It's a 92, so we're talking 25 years old, 24, whatever it is. It's an old car. And I also love that when you put your foot down at 100 and it kicks back some gears, it not only has a V8 note, but it has some V8 grunt. This is only a little 4-litre V8, so it's not a big engine as far as V8s go. We're not talking huge cubes. If you come from the cars that I'm used to, if you come from import stuff, then yeah, it is have some size. 2 litres, 2.3 litre cars. Yeah, it does have a bit more. But yeah, it's just a 4 litre. It's not like a huge 5, 6, 7 litre V8. But try it out. So a part of this job was the social element. So we had a bunch of guys over one Saturday afternoon to start the process of removing the engine. We started stripping the soarer back, getting some parts off it that we may use, we may sell,
and it was just a great afternoon with a great bunch of guys. So thanks heaps everyone that came over that afternoon. We hope to do it again with other elements of this build, but it was a great way to start the project.
I just did. Leave that next.
Technology. In '92, they were doing honeycomb filters with a map sensor.
No, you should have had fishing on that one, and then boom.
So the secrets of this car start to show themselves. So I thought these the lights that it had on it seemed quite ahead of their time, being like the halogen kind of special ends, but obviously they're the clips. Goes to this box, and we just discovered that it was an aftermarket add-on. That's the adapter box, because it's something to do with current to fit those the lights, the special bulbs that were in the round ones. We'll find them. Track down these bulbs. Oh yeah, no, they've been put back. Excellent. And then there's, so the box goes up through here, tracking the wires, applying the wire back. There's a fuse. So I just scored myself a nice little fuse thing. They're worth about $5 or something. If you want that from a car parts joint, and it just goes straight into there. It's been soldered, and that's okay, but we'll see what we can do with that if we're going to run something like little floods or whatever in our life. We'll see. So that exhaust's off. We've I cut the mounts because just for time. So that one's off. This is the front part of it, and the bolts were totally seized. So what I've done is just cut. So I just cut the sides off that the bolts are on, and then wriggled like crazy and snap them off, so that's good. Next, that actually gives me, if we jump under there, that gives me full access now to the drive shaft, and that's all been sprayed with inox and whatever else, which is good. Once we remove the drive shaft, then we're kind of getting a lot of the harder parts underneath the car are done, which means we're getting close to getting that engine out. Okay, so everything is very free at the moment. Everything's moving really nicely. You can see it's up on the stand. It's got the gearbox is supported by by an axle, an axle stand back there. So everything's actually looking pretty good. Just cleaned up my hands because I want to start doing some clips. There's a few plugs and clips around that I want to be able to get access to unplug some of the looms that are around here. So it is time to, yeah, we're getting really close, so we can start pulling off, you know, plastic cases and exposing some of our electrics, because we're unplugging some of the harness stuff that's on here, but it's actually really close. Yeah, it's being done, which is really exciting, to be honest. Yeah, it's good. So we're gonna get this engine out today. There's my other golden earth. Another one. Yeah, but yeah, it's all free. It's all looking good. It's all ready to go. So I had to drop. There was a cross member under there, so there's sort of two cross members. One that was both sort of supporting all the steering mechanism, lower control arms, and the main cross member that the steering rack was bolted to. The sway bar I've left in at the moment and the steering rack are both just tied on bits of rope there, and one on the other side just holding that steering rack in place. But I dropped the subframe that was underneath it. That I've had to, yeah, the only thing that I wasn't super happy with is the fuel line. I had to actually cut that, the bolts. I couldn't get the bolts undone, and I chose to cut the hard line on that, the hard rather than the soft, because I want to see if I can still use that fitting, if I can get that off. Yeah, but we're just gonna start undoing some pins and plugs and get some of this loom off, and then yeah. that's it for the first episode of the $2,000 challenge. The soarer has got the engine out. We've pulled off a couple of parts off the engine, just having a look, and I'm pretty excited because it looks like it's going to work the way that I'd like it to work. The soarer still needs some more work. We're going to pull out the fuel tank. In the next episode, we're going to start taking off fuel lines, any other hoses, some of the steering mechanisms, that kind of stuff, steering shaft. Some of the interior's got to come out to make way for looms and those kind of things. So that's in the next episode. And once the soarer is totally apart, we're actually going to get rid of that car, which will make room to pull in the XF, so we can actually look at sort of starting to do the work on that. But at the moment, we're really excited. It's looking good. Everything that we want the engine to do, it looks like it's going to do. We just got to somehow get it in the other car, and hopefully it's all going to work again. But thanks very much for watching. Really excited about this project. It's a lot of fun. No idea when the next episode is going to come out. They come out as we go. This is literally sort of happening week by week as we go. And if there's enough footage, I'll bring out an episode. Hopefully this series doesn't take too many years, and if something else pops up in between, other videos, other jobs, that will also happen. So this isn't like over the next 3 weeks it'll happen. It's as long as it takes. It's as long as it takes. But thanks for watching. I hope you're excited. Drop your ideas, hints. If you've done this kind of install before, let us know what you've done and any issues you ran into. But yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Tim's Garage.